Kelly, tell me, what kind of a person was Sheena?
When I interview people and I ask about Sheena and they start talking about her, usually the first thing someone says is when Sheena walked into a room, she lit it up. She had a very spunky personality. She was that type of friend to all of her friends that if she was needed, it didn't matter what time of day, what time of night, she'd always lend her ear. She'd drive a couple hundred miles to go and get you and bring you back to Tampa or whatever it was a friend needed. Very close with her family, her dad, her grandmother, her grandfather, both sides of the family. She was a social butterfly. She loved life. She liked to travel. You know, at one point she talked about how she'd like to move to California, but that she couldn't really stray too far from either parent. She went from being the fun young girl to being a domesticated young woman. She liked to cook, do doggy slumber parties.
Now, you two are very close.
Yes.
Best friends?
Yeah. Well, I tried to stay away from the whole best friend saying because I was still her mother.
Sure.
But yeah, she was older, she was on her own, so at that point it was safer to be best friends. When she was younger, I was a disciplinarian. We weren't quite that close.
When you were told that she had died and then the next day you were told that the police had concluded she killed herself, what was your reaction to that?
I was in shock. Sheena was not depressed. She showed no signs of depression. Nothing that I've learned about suicide relates to Sheena. I was mortified, and I think everyone was. Everyone just had this big question, like, how could this be?
Now, I've read the reports from all of the experts, the forensic experts that have examined the police investigation, and they came up with a lot of red flags, like her feet were very dirty, very sandy, yet there was no dirt in the shower or outside the shower stall, that there were petechial hemorrhages that indicated she could have been strangled as opposed to hung, and that her pants and clothing indicated she might have been carried into that shower. What's your reaction to all these red flags and concerns in the police investigation?
Obviously, I'm not a criminal investigator nor forensics, but there's things that I know about my daughter. And when I looked at the photos, I knew something wasn't right, something was wrong. I wasn't able to see everything that they saw prior to learning about it, but once I saw them again, it made a lot of sense. But I knew myself, the sand on the bottom of the feet was something that my husband and I saw almost instantly, and it was alarming. How does this young girl be found in a hanging position in the shower with no sand on the floor, but it's all over the bottom of her feet?
Why do you think the police department hasn't reacted to these red flags and maybe re-examined their investigation? You
know, for the longest time, we struggled with trying to figure out what is really going on. But now when it comes down to it, I just simply think that Detective Diaz made his decision. He doesn't want to be wrong about it, and nobody wants to admit a mistake. I've invited and welcomed, admit I made a mistake, let's relook at this, but they don't want to do it. And frankly, they're not equipped to reinvestigate this anyway.
What kind of toll has all of this taken on you? What have you given up?
I've given up my career. I had a successful real estate business going, and it was my dream to come to Florida and work the luxury market, and there I was living my dream. And once this happened, I couldn't do both. I didn't care about anything else anymore. I needed to know what happened, and second of all, my concern was, is this going to happen to someone else? So I gave up everything, and I work on this every day.
This affected your marriage, your family life?
Yeah, as supportive as everyone is, at the same point, the communication gets lost because family just doesn't really know what to say anymore.
What would you like to see happen now?
I want this to stop, and I want it to stop now. And I do know I'm not the only case out there, and it's not just within the Bradenton Beach Police Department. There's other issues, and the state of Florida needs to start reacting, and the FBI needs to start protecting young women.